This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, so I want to share with you something on the Parsha and something connected to the Bar Mitzvah. And we know in the Aseres HaDibros we have the Mitzvah of Kabed Asavicha V'Yasimecha. And for all you parents and grandparents out there, I'm sure that's a mitzvah you would like your children and grandchildren to really focus on. So the good news is, when Bar Mitzvah Bachrim would come to Reb Chaim Kanievsky, Zecher Tzaddik Livracha, and they would ask, okay, we know now we're chayiv in Torah mitzvahs, and we have to focus on the whole Torah, but is there any mitzvah particularly that we should focus on, that we should emphasize, that we should really be madgish? And Reb Chaim would always say, focus on the mitzvah of Kibbud Av V'Em, based on a Yerushalmi that talks about the idea that if somebody designates a mitzvah never to violate, the example Yerushalmi gives is Kibbud Av V'Em. And there's an amazing story about the Chazon Ish. The Chazon Ish was once farhering a class, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the farher, a young boy raises his hand and he says, I have a question. So the Rabbi said, put your hand there. You know, the Chazon Ish is farhering you. You're not farhering him. So the boy put his hand down. At the end of the farher, the Chazon Ish turns to the boy to address his question. He said, yeah, what would you like to know? So the boy said, I have one question. In what suchus did you become the Chazon Ish? So Chazon Ish, the boy stumped him. Chazon Ish had to think for a minute. And the Chazon Ish said, in the merit of Kibbud Av V'Em, that he really excelled in the midst of Kibbud Av V'Em. So that's pretty startling. That why would Kibbud Av V'Em be such a powerful mitzvah that Reb Chaim Kanievsky said to focus on that? That the Chazon Ish said to focus on that. By the way, Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman pointed out that in our generation we have a unique phenomenon that, you know, when my father was growing up, so rarely did anyone have grandparents. Who had grandparents? You know, it was a rarity to have grandparents. My grandparents were survivors, so they came over to this country. They came to Pittsburgh. My father was in school in Pittsburgh, and many of his classmates were sons of survivors. Nobody had grandparents. It was a rarity. But today, it's very common for boys and girls not only to have grandparents. Many kids in yeshiva have great-grandparents. And Rabbi Aaron Leib Steinman says that now that we're in the end of days, and we have to overcome Esav, and Esav's main zuchus is Kibbud Av V'Em, Hashem has given opportunities that there could be grandparents who are still given the opportunity to mekayim the mitzvah of Kibbud Av V'Em themselves. And at that age, when somebody's already a grandparent, it's not so easy to mekayim Kibbud Av V'Em. And when you're caring for such an elderly parent, it's certainly not easy. But to get us to the finish line, to overcome Esav, who excelled in Kibbud Av V'Em, Hashem has given new opportunities in our age. But here's what's really interesting. Why is Kibbud Av V'Em such a powerful mitzvah? Reb Shimon Schwab, in the Sefer Alei Higayon, has an amazing idea. That when Adam HaRishon sinned with the Eitz Hadas, he sullied himself, he corrupted himself, he corrupted all of creation, he was banished from Gan Eden, he corrupted all the mitzvahs, he corrupted, even the mitzvahs were banished from Gan Eden. He ruined every mitzvah, he ruined Daled Minim and Matzah and Torah, everything, all of creation. There's only one mitzvah he didn't ruin. He didn't ruin Kabed Asavicha V'Yasimecha. Why? Because he didn't have parents. So if there's one mitzvah that retains its pristine koyach of Kedusha, it's Kabed Asavicha V'Yasimecha. That is why Reb Schwab says, when Yaakov Avinu was serving the meat to Yitzchak, it says, Re'ei reach b'ni k'reach sada shabercha Hashem. Chazal say Yitzchak smelled Gan Eden. Why did he smell Gan Eden? he smelled through the kibbut of Avim of Yaakov, he smelled the original scent of Gan Eden. The scent that a Gan Eden originally had came through the mitzvah of kibbut of Avim of Yaakov that was never impugned by Adam Rishon. Therefore, in a certain sense, that Kabed Savicha V'Yasimecha has the ability to bring an individual to the highest possible level. And this gives us insight. Why is it in the Aseres HaDibros? Why is Kibbut Avim? Is it so important? And saying, don't kill, don't worship other gods. And I'm sure there are many fundamental reasons and simple reasons why it's there. But another reason why it's there is, in a sense, it's the mitzvah that was never diminished and mitigated through the sin of Adam HaRishon. And through it, the Chazon Ish held that he was propelled to great heights through the mitzvah of Kibbut Avim. And that was the mitzvah that Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky said that when somebody becomes a bar mitzvah, they should focus on. In any event, that's what I got for you today. I want to wish everybody a Guten Shabbos. Thanks for listening. And bracha v'hatzlacha. Thank you. Simchas and your mishpachos.
The whole family.
Amen. And you from yours. Thank you.
Good health.
Amen. Thank you, man.
Guten Shabbos from Mr. Reifer.
Thank you, Mr. Reifer. Good Shabbos.
Mazel tov.
Thank you very much. Simchas by you. Good Shabbos, everyone. Kol tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.